Hey everybody, Zach here. Today we're diving into the 2006 Malibu Response impeller replacement. It's a pretty easy job, pretty point and shoot. We're just going to walk you through it, tell you where to look, that sort of thing. A couple tools that might help do the job a little quicker. I know there's a couple other videos out there and they're super helpful. However, I just want to go from a couple different angles, give you guys a better insight of what it actually looks like, how that replacement can go a little bit smoother for you. We're going to be replacing our impeller. We have the Johnson pump impeller here. This is the 09812BT-1. Make sure you figure out which impeller goes in your motor. It should either say in your owner's manual, or it's usually recommended on most Malibu forums, that sort of thing. You can find out exactly what you need as a replacement. A couple things we need for this job. Just kidding. We're not really gonna need that today. All we really need for the job is two tools. Our trusty screwdriver with a flathead or an 11mm socket, whatever you need, and a channel locks. The tool that absolutely for sure built Rome. Okay, diving into the engine cabin here, we got the Monsoon 350 in this beast. This is the Response LXI, like I said, 2006. I love this motor. It works exceptional. I've never had any problems with it. If you're unfamiliar with the area, you know, around the motor here, what we're going to be looking for this impeller is you got your belt feeds up here, all that good stuff. We're going to come a little bit below this. It's usually this big silver knob here. It's going to be this black housing actually houses your impeller. That's where we're going to be looking for. And a good trick, in case yours isn't directly in the front here, you can look for these two hoses down below here. Let's see if I can get you a good angle. One should say marine water intake. It might not always say the intake, but it'll always have that green band saying marine water. You know, that's your raw water intake. That's where the water's coming in. And then off to the left here, you have that pulled in water getting circulated into your engine through various hose systems that you have aboard your systems here. So diving in, it's these four little screws here that we're gonna pop off. Right there, if you can see, it's these four screws that we're gonna pop off right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And just make note, they are actually a little bit differently sized. So what I mean is you can't transpose this this cover at all. It has to go on exactly the way it comes off. You can see these top three are a little bit closer than this bottom one. And in this case, mine, the lettering on here that tells me all about my impeller, what I need, all that good stuff, is upside down. So I'm just gonna take a mental note of that. Keep an eye out for when I put it back on to replace it exactly as I took it off. Like I said, the tool that built Rome, here to save the day. You can just use your channel locks, get it around, just get a nice good grip, and it should break. They should break nice and free, and then we can finish them off with the Okay, diving in here. Nothing really major, nothing earth-shattering. I do want to point out, the only type of lubricant you should be using on these pumps is glycerin-based. It's what's recommended by the manufacturer. It's what's recommended. I'm not 100% positive why, but I assume it has something to do with the friction, and glycerin can withstand that. But what I do want to point out with this impeller is we do need to take note. So impellers rotate right to left, so counterclockwise. And that's because our raw water is coming in on the left here. So it's pulling in that raw water, trapping it in these seals, and then moving it over to our engine input. And that's all happening very fast. So that's why the lubrication is necessary. But we do need to take note which way these are spinning. It should be always towards your intake, but that's not always the case. So just double check which way that's going. Let's see, you're just wiggling. We'll just slowly work it out. Just keep working it back and forth. Just a little wiggle. You don't have to kill it. Like,
I'm doing, but you just wiggle it out.
Okay, just wanted to bring you all back. So after just a little bit of wiggling, you know, it's had some good give, and she should just pop the rest of the way out. Just keep wiggling. You don't have to kill it, I found. I started pretty aggressively. You don't need to do that. Everybody makes it seem like it's borderline impossible. It's not. Here's what we're left with. You can see the intake, the output. Just verify all that's good, you know, no major damage in there. That's a big one. And a good way to tell on that is inspect your old one. Like I said, just double check, make sure everything looks right. Okay, so you just lube up the impeller there with what you got. They send it in their little kit. Just get a nice little coating. It doesn't really need to be crazy. I have pretty good access, so I'm not gonna struggle too much to get this impeller, but you just take your finger, you run along, get her lubed up decently well. As it goes in, I'll add some more and just keep it nice and wet, lubricated, that sort of thing. I did notice that this impeller doesn't quite match this one. However, everything I'm reading says it's the correct replacement. I'm gonna look into this a little more. I'm gonna finish this installation just so you guys can see how it works. Might be redoing this with the correct impeller, we'll see. Hopefully this one is just fine. So as I said, you know how it rotates a certain direction, so it's counterclockwise. You just kind of start working it in, spinning it counterclockwise, and then as you can see, it's kind of pitching at that angle. The reason that is, I'm sure you can't quite tell from where you guys are sitting at, but that middle piece is trying to line up with the teeth in here. So we're just gonna go ahead and give that a nice assist, get that lined up. Like I said, I have pretty good access. I can sort of see where that point is and how I need to manipulate the impeller to get it to that point. Kind of looks like it should take right just like that. She went right in, feels good. It's flush. I'm gonna try shoving it in a little further just to make sure that this is the correct impeller. You should just want it flush. I think that's exactly where it should be, according to what I'm seeing here. Just trust the old channel locks. Give her some taps. Tap her in the rest of the way here. I think it's good to go. As I said, you know, it was lubed up and you saw how it sort of just popped in. This one is spun the wrong way. As I was working it in, it rotated the wrong direction. I'm sure it'll be fine. It'll find its correct way to go here. We're just gonna add some more lube. Okie dokie here. So we have our base plate. Like I said, just you had to take note of which way direction. Mine is inverted. So this is the top. We should have received a gasket with our thing here. We're just gonna set that gasket, just line those holes up real beautifully like. We are actually just gonna do a lid on the inside here, so the impeller facing side. According to the directions, I'm not 100% sure why, but it wants me to just lubricate this this gasket a little bit. Like I said, has to be glycerin based lubricants, can't be anything else. It's just must be the way the system works. It must just erode the other lubricants due to the friction. There we go. So we have our lubricated gasket here. We're gonna take that and we're gonna line it up with our impeller. There we go. That looks pretty. We're just gonna take these screws here and we're gonna do the top one first, just so I can have a little breathe room, and it just needs to be hand tight, nothing crazy to start with. You know what they say, it's, tight is tight. So seal, my old gasket was definitely worn, but in good shape yet. Still a good seal. This is the old gasket. This is what she looks like replaced. We'll just clean her up a little bit. Around, get rid of this lubrication dripping everywhere. There we go. And that's how you replace Impeller on a 2006 Malibu Response.